It is common, and almost always the case, that in our dedicated Q&A space, we set aside a moment for a skeptical fan. Discussing a quarterback and the New York City team, a fan expresses concern about another player, considering him more relevant than the one previously mentioned. This athlete has the potential to decide the game if he's on the field, but can also affect his own team's performance. This is the intriguing and frustrating part of dealing with him. Many questions have been submitted via an interactive platform, allowing for your inquiries to be addressed even if you aren't watching the content live. You can adjust your message, send whatever you want, and we will highlight it on the show or answer your doubts. Another fan suggests that we should consider a trade if a key player leaves the team and we manage to get an additional second-round pick. He asks if we would consider selecting a running back and a receiver, mentioning a Stanford athlete. This player could be a good option after a running back, but he prefers another athlete who surpassed 1,000 yards in his seasons. In his view, this player should not fall to the second round and is someone who could be picked in the first round. With all the needs we have, this would be a secondary priority. He still believes that with the player in question, the situation is under control and the priority should be to bring in a cornerback, a defensive lineman, or an impactful linebacker. He doesn't want to make a luxury pick, as the current situation doesn't justify such a move. In response to another inquiry, a fan asks why a team holds meetings while others can close contracts with their top players quickly. It is believed that contracts can be signed at specific times, while the mentioned team seems unable to act efficiently. This is something that often happens, right? The team in question tends to have these meetings thinking they can save by avoiding the agent handling the players' negotiations. The team in question faces a considerable challenge due to the usual dynamics. It is common for them to hold meetings in the hope of saving money by bypassing the agent who handles contract negotiations. A clear example is the story of a player who illustrates this situation well. They believe they can save, and in some cases, this strategy works, as we've seen in initial deals with standout players. However, when negotiations drag on, it can create tensions, as has occurred in previous situations. The team seems to be seeking a favorable contract that benefits the team, recalling past deals that resulted in significant legal disputes. When athletes don't immediately agree to offers, negotiations can drag on, leading to frustration for the agents. This is not an isolated problem in the league, as other teams handle these situations more effectively, recognizing the power and influence that agents hold. Players often hire competent agents to ensure better financial outcomes. An athlete recalled an episode when, during contract discussions, he firmly stated he wasn't willing to deal with the matter. This situation happened before an important deadline, highlighting the complexity of these negotiations. In general, what is your level of confidence in the team's ability to manage contract talks? Rate it from 1 to 10 in today's conversation comments. I believe that when a person takes full control and assumes the role of general manager, they might very well end up hiring a true general manager. And if that happens, the team could remain in the same family for generations, considering how current leaders pass on their work ethic and mindset to their children. Regarding the first point, I think this person will hold the general manager position, or perhaps just the title of owner, as recent reports indicate this possibility. I think that if a true general manager is appointed, this organization will likely stay under the ownership of the Jones family for the long term. There seems to be a significant focus on developing a strong work ethic and mentality in the upcoming generation. Initially, it seems probable that one of the family members will take on the role of general manager or perhaps even assume ownership responsibilities. A report mentioned a particular clause in a contract, but I cannot verify that without access to the actual document. Personally, I would prefer a specific person for the general manager position, as it is crucial to have someone there who embodies a sense of urgency. At the moment, it seems that everyone in the front office lacks that drive, including the previously referenced individual, as it doesn't fall under his purview. A touch of desperation can be beneficial, reminiscent of how a former executive thrived due to a heightened sense of urgency. The team needs to adopt a much more proactive strategy, since neither the owner nor the general manager can be easily replaced. The owner occupies a distinct role. Thus, they could take risks without the fear of losing their position. I hope there will be a shift in the operational approach towards being less cautious. It is evident that this is a family-operated entity with considerable influence from the owner. When asked about the possibility of drafting a safety if the team opts to go that route, there are several prospects being considered for the later rounds. There are players who would fit well in the first round. Another candidate also stands out with hopes that he will still be on the board by the second round, although that seems doubtful. One player could be a strong choice in either the second or third round. There's also another option recognized as a late second-round possibility, valued for his playing style, though it is thought he may not be available in the third round. There are some intriguing talents to consider for the third day as well. A player from Oklahoma might land in the third round, though he has some tackling issues despite making a significant impact. Another from Oklahoma State is somewhat overlooked, while a prospect from West Virginia is an interesting choice, likely requiring a wait until the fifth round. It will be fascinating to see if any of these players become available for drafting. A player with a significant impact on the field is under analysis, and there is a perception that Lean Ransom, who plays at OSU, is underrated, while Jonas Sanker from West Virginia stands out as an attractive option. There is a chance that he may have to wait until the fifth round, and it will be interesting to see if a viable selection occurs. With the logic of choosing only robust athletes, investing a day 3 pick in Desmond Watson or securing his signing as an undrafted free agent is a reasonable possibility. It is crucial for a running back to feel enough intimidation to change his path before executing an impressive play. There is also King Solo Man, who suggests choosing a defensive tackle with the 66th pick. The intention is to use a late-round pick to challenge Motzi's job security. Initially, I don't see this as a downgrade or provocation. Adding a new nose guard is vital, as there is currently no player in that position on the roster. In the 7th round, the return of Justin Rogers could be considered, but his absence last season raises uncertainties. More support is needed. Desmond Watson exemplifies the philosophy of selecting only robust athletes, weighing in at 446 pounds, and while he's big, his agility isn't the best. Many believe he's an effective blocker on tush-push plays, but to block this play, leverage is essential, and that's not Watson's strength. However, in the 7th round, I would definitely consider bringing in this imposing player. Worst case, you use a late 7th round pick, which isn't a huge deal. In any round, think about a player you would like to see selected and share in the comments. There are underrated athletes who don't get the attention they deserve, like Demetrius Knight from South Carolina, who could surprise as the draft approaches. Additionally, mentioning 2 players from Virginia Tech, Anyas Peebles, a defensive tackle who may not fit all schemes, and Antoine Powell-Ryland, who had impressive production and could become a valuable asset. I remember considering him in an early mock draft for the team on day 3, and he truly stood out to me. With the arrival of spring, the baseball season has officially begun, giving fans the opportunity to roster their favorite players on fantasy teams. With strikes, RBIs, or performances in the first inning, fantasy enthusiasts can select more or less to significantly raise their stakes. This excitement isn't limited to baseball, as there are also options for football and basketball. Ideally, it would be to select a defensive tackle in the 3rd round, perhaps a running back in the 2nd or 3rd, and a safety in the 5th who could also play as a nickel corner. If done properly, this strategy could satisfy pressing needs. There's still interest in trading for a receiver, and although it seems unlikely any trade will happen, the team may consider proposals, especially if they involve pick negotiations. They seem to value this player, particularly considering that they currently lack a reliable top receiver, as developing players are still looking for their place. I have some doubts regarding any trades that might happen, but the concept has been considered beyond merely exchanging a 3rd and a 5th or 6th round selection. It looks like they are looking for more than that due to their investment in him and the value they place on his contributions. At the moment, they lack a reliable top receiver. Individuals like Alec Pierce and A.D. Mitchell have not yet achieved that level. Nonetheless, Alec Pierce could emerge as a trade possibility, potentially becoming easier to deal if they think A.D. Mitchell can significantly develop. When thinking about discussions concerning a particular team, it is interesting to reflect on their most urgent needs. These needs can certainly be categorized, and right now, the most obvious deficiencies appear to be at wide receiver and cornerback. Furthermore, they require help at running back given the limited performance from current players. There is also a call for additional support on the defensive line, especially regarding backup roles at edge and defensive tackle, although the need for edge might be slightly less pressing at this moment. The offensive guard position raises concerns as well, along with the need for depth in linebacker, safety, and various spots on the offensive line, in addition to the situation surrounding the backup quarterback. If one were in a position to make decisions, trading 2 second-round selections for an exceptional player might seem reasonable. However, there are doubts about the practicality of such trades. Interest from several teams has been highlighted in recent conversations. A question emerged about potential trades, whether to ascend or descend in the draft. An upcoming video will explore that subject, pointing out possible targets. There is a certain interest in a specific receiver recognized for his impressive height and skill set. Standing nearly 6 feet and 4 inches tall and weighing 222 pounds, he has a compelling profile. His speed is remarkable, and he has been effectively utilized in unconventional formations. He excels in contested catches and can evade defenders after making a reception, though he tends to rely on his body for catches. His route running is somewhat limited, and he shows varying styles of play. Comparisons arise to a more athletic player who struggled, particularly with hands and route running. This player recorded a notable number of receptions, but many were behind the line of scrimmage, which does not translate into effective gameplay. However, as the draft nears, there is a perception of this particular athlete as a potential 4th-round selection, indicating he is a developing receiver with evident impact potential in creative plays, possibly even as a returner, a role he has yet to undertake, but could thrive in. There is definitely interest surrounding him, although another player from the same university may be viewed as the more outstanding receiver. But before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the Dallas Cowboys. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments as well. An explosive rumor is circulating across the NFL world, and it's one that has Cowboys fans absolutely buzzing. The Dallas Cowboys, a franchise always in the headlines, are reportedly eyeing none other than Joe Burrow, the Cincinnati Bengals franchise quarterback. Yes, you read that correctly. Burrow, the man who took the Bengals to Super Bowl 56 and has been nothing short of sensational since entering the league. Is this the blockbuster move that will redefine the Cowboys season? The whispers are getting louder, and everyone from sports analysts to casual fans is asking the same question. Could Burrow really leave the Bengals and suit up for Dallas? At the heart of the speculation is Burrow's current status with the Bengals, particularly his contract extension signed ahead of the 2023 season, which at the time set the record for the highest annual salary in NFL history. But what if the situation has changed? Could the unthinkable happen? And would the Cowboys be willing to part with significant assets to bring the quarterback to Dallas? The intrigue only deepens when considering the Cowboys' own quarterback situation, as Dak Prescott's performance has come under scrutiny with each playoff disappointment. Could this be the turning point for Jerry Jones to make a move that shakes up the NFL? As the NFL world watches closely, there's a strong sense that Burrow's leadership and ability to perform under pressure could be the perfect fit for a Cowboys team loaded with talent, but missing that final spark. Burrow, who is known for his cool demeanor in the most intense situations, could be the difference maker that propels the Cowboys to the next level. Would the Cowboys be willing to take a risk on a potential trade, knowing that Burrow has the ability to lead them to Super Bowl glory? The details are still unclear, but the rumor mill is spinning, and insiders are revealing that Dallas has been in discussions behind the scenes. Could Burrow's potential arrival signal a new era for the Cowboys? One that finally brings the elusive 6th championship to Jerry World? The anticipation is growing, and fans are keeping their eyes peeled for any shred of truth behind the speculation. Stay tuned, as this developing story promises to keep NFL fans on the edge of their seats, eagerly waiting for the next big piece of the puzzle to fall into place. Will Joe Burrow be the answer to the Cowboys' Super Bowl dreams? Or will this be another fleeting rumor that ends in disappointment? Time will tell, but for now, the excitement around Burrow's potential move to Dallas is impossible to ignore. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Dallas Cowboys, please subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. We always look forward to your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.